Okay, so basically we're lit now. How do I get this out of my way? Down here now. Cool. So again, back at the flow. Tried using Zoom because basically I don't like how that last video turned out. It was trash. So hopefully Zoom is better. Let's do it again. So this time we're basically gonna be analyzing what happened today. Basically what happened throughout this whole week. It was just like beautiful actually, but it was very confusing. Very, very confusing. Even there, like this was Thursday. That was what I was trying to trade on Monday. So let's just analyze what happened over this week. Again, this week started here. So we can just basically play this whole thing back. So it's easier. So like I said, it's easier for me just to go on the weekly time frame, just so like we can basically see what's going on. So boom. Monthly real quick because why not? Monthly is still playing out pretty good. At this point, we're at a area of support and we are at an area of basically seller's exhaustion on a monthly time frame. So that's basically anything in this area is like basically clear for a buy. But I wouldn't say that. I would just say at this current point, we have seller's exhaustion. That's all it is basically a consolidating market. It's been consolidating for one, two, and now this is the third month. It's been basically the same area. Um, with having some no major breakouts. Because if you see none of these candles basically close higher or below this candle right here. So it's been consolidating. Going down to the weekly, you can clearly see more of the consolidation. This was that previous week we were talking about before that was hella like bullish. This was the week that we were seeing that large bear candle that was very definitive, but that was that big spike right here, and how basically boom, boom, it basically nullified itself within that cut 1, 2, 3 weeks, came back to where exactly it was at. So kind of a wild one for US oil. So again, we're at a point where oil is basically consolidating. So we're looking at basically this being a seller's exhaustion area on that monthly time frame, looking at all these seller's exhaustion spikes. Then we see actual structure. So structure is actually saying that this lower high is a lower low, lower high. Well, you can at least get this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Well, then we never created a high that was a low that was lower. So at that point right there, you can see it's a very, very ugly W. This is why this was a good, very, very, it gave you basically two opportunities to get in. Very, very good opportunity to get in anywhere at this price zone was very good. So these weeks you can see how bullish it was, even though the sellers are still, because it's like how we're looking at the market now. We need to always remember is not basically done selling until you have that breakout and that retest. So boom. So right now we're waiting on the opportunity to catch 1,000 pips basically. All right. So after it carried this lower high, lower low, lower high, it came here and couldn't really breach this area. Lower low, lower high. It came here and created a low and never created. It did create a lower high, but it never created a lower low. So that was a lower high area, but no low. No lower low. Supposed to be a question mark. So let's actually delete that. That was horrible. So basically we're at an area where we're showing exhaustion again on a higher time frame, seller's exhaustion, and we just created a lower, the new lower high, and then we created a low. So at this point, this previous week, you seen that it wasn't even able to close. It literally, I was trading this week, and it was basically came right here to this order block. And everybody knows, if you don't know what an order block is, this is an order block, but like this is the area where most order blocks retest. That's why I put that box. Order block. So retested order block right here. So at this point, we see that this is a good area for a retest if we work like boom W. So it basically just created this lower high. Like I said before, when it came back right here to create this low twice, it basically confirmed it, the exhaustion. Can't really see it too much, but this is all within the same month. I'm gonna even go back. This is all within the same month, so let's go back down to the one daily so you can see more data. So okay, more details again. Almost seem like too many details. But listen. This is where I had drew on a higher time frame that retest area according to this weekly. Like boom, this came one time and tested it. I already had tested it here. This is back in October. Came up, came back down. Again, this was like, how many pips was this? 600 pips. So 620 pips. Boom. This same area right here, same thing. Came here, boom, 100% retest. So at this point right here, this was a retest of that. But on Monday, it basically came to 100% retrace, is what I'm saying. This Monday was last week. This was last week. So at this point, this was the area where I said the 100% retrace. And it's funny if you look on the daily, how much like on the daily you could have got a more accurate entry. According to this weekly, like it basically never even really touched it. But I'm assuming that this was this week. This was this last week when it came and tipped to this premium area right here, because that was the clear order block I was talking about on the higher time frame. So that's why you was able to get that clear entry right here. And I mean, literally, the retest is here. Last week, you could have anticipated this. If you basically missed this, which I did, I missed it. You could have anticipated 400 pips 1 week. Could have retested it and anticipated this right there. So, boom. This was on a Friday though. So, like, that's why I was very aware that this location, this literal area right here, was going to be retested. I was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be retested. So, I wasn't really too stressed too much. So, that's what I was anticipating for when this week first came. So you looking on the higher time frame, you're like, yo, word up. Like, this is a crazy like situation here. Like, I will have to say, like, look at this right here. This was a large 4-hour candlestick. Basically confirming either a retest, and it really is confirming a retest because listen, Linda. You can't get too carried away because this is still market structure. This is still market structure, baby. And this is what I'll be telling you. This is on a lower time frame. This is on a 4-hour. And this is on a 4-hour. This is not even like on a 15-minute, 30 minutes. So structure. We're at an area where we just talked about how we was at this premium location of the 100% retrace on that higher daily area, but it was really a weekly area. We right here, we had this week come up. Now this week came up and retested this exhaustion area. It's been exhausted for multiple months. How many months? We talked about how it's been 3 months now. Nope, that's not the right one. It's coming, it's coming. It should be right here. And where's that? Right here. We talked about how it's been months now. So it's been 98 days, is 90 days, is 3 months. So it's been about 3 months that's been consolidating. So boom, back to the 4 hour. We're seeing it just basically broke out in this buy trend that was very bullish. Very bullish. Okay. Looking at the bulls right now. So now that we know we're in the uptrend, what is happening at this high? This was the previous higher high, the last higher high that was created. Higher high, higher low, higher high, and then this created a higher low, but then this did not create a higher high. So at this moment right here, at this moment right here, we basically created a higher low, a lower high. But this was a confirmation, boom, 100% retrace. So you could have got in for this. Not possible. Anyway, we're trying to get in for this week. We're analyzing this week that just happened. So boom, we're leading up to this week that just happened. So boom, lower high, lower low, lower high. And this was a low. Really can't count this one. Delete that one. This is a lower high. This is a lower low here. Then this will be the lower high. You're seeing it? You're seeing this lower, how it transition to the lower, to a basically a counter trend line. How did you know it stopped? I looked at this bull, but we couldn't technically say it stopped until we had an area where it failed to create a basically a lower low. In this case, it would have been a higher high. So now we can play boom. Because this was Friday open. I was expecting a retest of this area exactly. So I'm trying to get an entry for here. It's very fucking scared. So pause here. This is what I'm saying to you. This was the order block. And I tell you that order block is so spicy. I'm getting rid of this now because we don't need it. Order block, order block, order block. Listen to this. Literally tipped it on Monday. Sunday, you could have even made what 100 pips, 230 pips off of that retest. That's why I'm saying this was like more than an unusual breakout to the high. It basically almost broke out, just saying like we about to break out, but it couldn't. I remember this moment. I was like, "Oh shit, we about to sell." We could have literally caught 100 pips before, and I buy it early. I think here, and I got whipped out, and it went lower, and I'm like, then I tried to get back in, but I was unconfident because it already stopped me out here. So I'm like, sheesh. 10 p.m. went lower. 11 p.m. I think I was at a dinner with grandma. I was at a dinner with grandma and I missed it and I was so sad. And it went up and it continued to go up. So boom. So at this point, this was Monday. Let's go further into how I could have capitalized and been like placing the entry more accurately. So again, like I like to look at the 1 hour. So Basically, this is so choppy. I would not know based off the 1 hour. I would have been able to see clear moves based off of the 4 hour because of how it looks. Even this order block, how that was more accurate. It looked cleaner on the daily. And that was based off a new weekly. That's how we got that based off the weekly. Our entry on the weekly. This is a retest, but I'm saying this week. All right, so boom. Cool, we vibing. We seeing that happen. It broke this. I would have never thought, but that went, like I said, 120 pips to this high, and then more. Listen, it broke this high and went all the way up to here. So what? 180 pips, basically 200 pips before it showed exhaustion. Now look, this is where it showed exhaustion here. And boom. At this point, we're looking and it's saying like, okay, we're at an area where we can now move our trend line like this because it never really broke the uptrend. It really just retested 61.8% retested on energy. It was very fire. So let's move on and see what it does. Ooh. And what could it even prepare as for that? I would have never thought, like, first off, all right, let's go back. Yeah, that was really spicy. I remember trading this. I remember trading this. And I'm looking at it, I remember trading this. So basically, how can I even have got into this one? It was very confusing, like I said, because it basically came here, made a higher low, but we should have been looking at the higher time frame the whole time because we could have seen like that it was still for a buy according to right, listen. Yeah, it was still in for a buy. Cause like this was the area where we first entered for the buy originally on this week. It was so spicy, so color. And now we're up 150. It just came. So like we could have got out. Why? Because it hit this order block. Order block, order block, order block. But that was not really like the best reason to get out. I would say, why would we have getting out? First of all, because every time you have something like that, we always do have a retest. So why would we have gotten out? We would have gotten out because it just broke its previous high. So like we would have gotten out because of that. So like let's look. Let's see. Friday, this is Monday. We would have had to go based off of this 100% retrace. We never had a new higher high actually formed yet. So this was 27%. We could have got out based off the negative 27%. And that's just me learning, trying to get my money, and also trying to ride with the market. Look at how it it was ruthless towards that negative 27%. It never really went higher than that. And you could have seen like basically because this is where I was selling. Like I sold this right here at 930, but it then went up and then I went higher. I was like, yo, what the and I think the area of interest was here for the entry. And so like I really didn't wait for the 100% retrace. And sometimes you do have to wait according to like how market is forming and how market is forming on lower time frames. It still like didn't finish is uptrend. So that's what I also need to be looking for. The uptrend to finish, like uptrend did not finish. How do you know? Let me get rid of this. Because you're waiting for an area that goes like this. High or lower low, lower high, higher low. So like it failed to create a low low. In this case, it will fail to create a higher high. So in this case, we saw that even on the 1 hour, like higher high, no, higher high, no. This one did not create failed to create a higher high this hour right here. This one failed to create a high higher than this high. It never even is wicks. The candlestick never even formed. So this high when it opened, could have just easily enter based off of that. So like even now, like looking ahead, boom, this was the higher high. Like this was the higher high. I'll show you this was the higher high. Then this was the higher low. Then this was the higher high, higher low. This failed. This was the area where it failed. So like this was the most valid area of entry right here. Could have got in here. Anywhere, any one of these areas for these candlesticks. It was the best area. And then play it back. Where would you have exited first according to the higher time frame? It would have been at the order block. Let's see. Yes. And so let's even look more into that. Because apparently we would have got whipped out. So like boom, it went here, boom, like once that happened, what can we have done to like prevent ourselves from even like getting freaked out like that? So so it would never really formed on a 1 hour and it never broke structure on 1 hour. So like when it started break structure was the next day basically. It was today. It came out thought. It was very good. So just basically learning and learning and learning and growing. So right now my eyes is tired. I wanna like eat with my family. So I'm about to do that. I'm about to eat. I'm stop here and come back. So I enjoyed this session and I will post this shortly. Bye.